Hello everybody, and welcome to another installment of PlaidStallions Toy Ventures. This episode is something of a happy accident for me because I didn't know I was going to do it until yesterday. See, I've been kind of in the dumps lately, and when I saw the ad for a local toy show, I thought that might be a fun thing to attend. When my wife decided to tag along, it was set. It was a small show, but it was packed with vintage stuff and a lot of dealers I've never seen at other shows, so I really enjoyed myself. My wife got sick of the crowd and eventually went and sat in the lobby, but told me to take as long as I wanted. And here are some of the things I picked up. The Welcome Back Kotter Treasury Edition really harkens back to childhood. I really like Treasury Editions, and I remember really enjoying the Welcome Back Kotter comics. I actually spent about a half an hour on Sunday afternoon reading this book, and it really was nice to read again. It was still held up. I picked up this Planet of the Apes annual. The UK annuals are always a bear to ship, so whenever I find them in Canada, because they were sold here as well, I pick them up. Unfortunately, I have this one, which isn't too bad because I only paid $15 for it, so I'm going to be gifting it to a friend of mine who collects this locally. And lastly, I did pick up these Planet of the Apes Viewmasters. I love Viewmasters. I love Planet of the Apes. This was a gap in my collection, and I'm glad I had it. The dealer had a whole bunch of these. In Toronto in the 80s, I remember when these were being blown out at toy stores, there was just like all these vintage Viewmasters that showed up. And I did grab a few of these, and this dealer admitted to me that's when he bought these as well. So it was kind of fun to reunite with this. But the big get, the thing that took all my money yesterday, was this. The Remco Star Trek CSF. That's Controlled Spaceflight. Remco / Azrak Hamway Industries basically copied a very popular toy by Mattel called Vertibird, but they applied their own licenses to it. In 1976, they released this, the Star Trek set, and they also did a Batman set that is very popular and memorable. I vividly remember the television ad campaign for this. There doesn't seem to be a very good transfer of it available, but I honestly remember really wanting this. 5-year-old me saw this toy and said, I want that, and it just seemed like that day was the right place and right time for me, and I picked it up. I also thought it would make for a great and fun video along the lines of things I talk about here on Toy Ventures. So I talked to the dealer. He assured me it was complete. He even called his father to make sure he wasn't lying, and a deal was struck. So here it is. It's basically a take on the Vertibird concept. You get a beautiful galactic playmat, which is actually what I think is a picture of an AMT model of the Star Trek Enterprise. The ship itself is a loose interpretation of the Enterprise, of course. It has to fly around using that little fan. The concept, of course, is to fly the Enterprise around, picking up these satellite objects with the hook at the base of the satellite. While I did get assured that the item was complete, I probably should have asked if it was working, because I got home, put 3 D-cell batteries in, and this is the pratfall of collecting vintage toys, especially ones that take batteries or, electronics. As a Mego collector, most of my Action Jackson vehicles don't work either, and finding a working Planet of the Apes stallion is a rare thing. It's a unicorn. So I fully accepted that this doesn't work, and, I was only going to play with it once anyways. I may try to fix it in the future. I'm not certain what I'm doing wrong with it. But for now, I'll just have to simulate how play would work with this. All in all, I'm still pleased I have this. It's such an iconic toy of my youth. I'm a big Star Trek fan, and this was sort of a weird gap in my collection. I really am fond of this toy, and I'm glad I bought it. There was an episode of the series The Toys That Made Us that kind of did a weird job on Star Trek. They kind of made it look like there was nothing of any value made for the license. And I disagree with that. I think there were some fantastic toys in the 1970s for Star Trek, and they sold very, very well. Until next time, I want to thank you all for watching. If you're new to this, I hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribe. I'll see you next week. Have fun.